The financial industry just told you that you need $1.46 million to retire. And if you believe that number without questioning it, you might be building the wrong plan for the next 20 years of your life. Stop. Read that again. $1.46 million, withdrawn at the standard rate, gives you $4,867 a month. Before taxes. Before healthcare. Before inflation takes another bite next year. For some of you, that's genuinely enough. For others, especially if you're in a major city, that's not retirement. That's a slow financial emergency with a finish line. So today, we're doing something most financial channels refuse to do. We're throwing out the one-size-fits-all number. We're finding your real target. And we're giving you 4 specific levers, starting this month, to take back full control. Stay with me. Because the second half of this video is where everything changes. Northwestern Mutual just dropped their 2026 Planning and Progress Study. The headline finding: Americans now believe they need $1.46 million to retire comfortably. That number jumped $200,000 in a single year. Over 15% in 12 months. Why? 3 forces, all hitting at once. Stubborn inflation that refuses to fully cool down. Healthcare costs rising faster than almost every other expense category. And one statistic that quietly terrifies people everywhere: 48% of Americans are genuinely afraid they'll outlive their money. Nearly half of us, afraid of the same thing. But here's the part that should actually wake you up. That $1.46 million was calculated for an average American. And you are not average. Your city, your lifestyle, your health history, your family situation, they all make your real number completely different. And if you're planning for someone else's retirement, you're either going to oversave, sacrificing your entire present for a future that didn't need it, or you're going to undershoot and run out of money at 79. Both outcomes are bad. So let's fix that right now. This is the part most retirement videos completely skip. $1.46 million sounds like a lot. Run the math. Watch what happens. The classic rule of retirement withdrawals is the 4% rule. Withdraw 4% of your portfolio per year. Your money should last 30 years. Apply to $1.46 million, that's $58,400 a year, or about $4,867 a month. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says the average household over 65 spends around $61,000 a year. On paper, close enough, right? Wait. But here's the catch. That $4,867 is before federal taxes. Before state income tax. Before Medicare premiums, automatically deducted from your Social Security check before you even see it. Before your roof needs replacing. Before your car needs replacing. Before your body needs something that insurance won't fully cover. If you own your home outright in a lower-cost state, Ohio, Tennessee, parts of Florida, $4,867 a month can genuinely feel comfortable. Nice dinners, occasional travel, helping the grandkids. But in California, New York, or high-cost Texas, that's not retirement. That's carefully managed survival. One number. 2 completely different realities. That's why the headline is misleading. And that's exactly why your number needs to be yours. I want you to meet someone. Meet Sarah. Sarah is 45 years old, lives outside Chicago. Earns $130,000 a year. By most definitions, she's doing really well. Good job. Decent savings. Owns her home. But when Sarah saw that $1.46 million headline this morning, her stomach dropped. Because she's nowhere near that number. And for a moment, she thought, am I already too far behind? Here's what Sarah doesn't know yet. $1.46 million might not even be her right target. This is where Fidelity's savings multipliers completely reframe the conversation. Instead of one terrifying headline number, they give you age-based checkpoints built around your actual salary. By 30, 1 times your salary saved. By 40, 3 times. By 50, 6 times. By 60, 8 times. By 67, 10 times. Sarah earns $130,000. Her real retirement target is around $1.3 million. Not $1.46 million. That's $160,000 less pressure, before she's changed a single habit. And this framework already builds in Social Security. It assumes you're claiming at a reasonable age. It's not asking Sarah to fund every dollar of her retirement herself. She's not as far behind as that headline made her feel. And neither, probably, are you. But wait, there's a catch. Averages are lying to us again. Empower's latest data shows people in their 50s have an average 401k balance of $629,000. Sounds decent, right? The median is $246,000. That means half of Americans in their 50s have less than $250,000 saved. The average is being pulled up by a small group of very high savers. If you're at the median, you're not behind the average. You're behind the curve. The gap is real. The anxiety is justified. Which is exactly why the how matters infinitely more than the number. Sarah knows her target now. She knows where she stands. The panic is still there, but it's quieter. Because now she's about to pull 4 levers that actually move the needle. And so are you. Lever 1. Control what you spend in retirement. This is the biggest lever, and almost nobody talks about it first. Your retirement spending determines your entire target number. Most people focus obsessively on earning more and saving more. But your lifestyle in retirement? That's the actual equation. Watch how Sarah runs this. She estimates she'll need $80,000 a year in retirement. She expects roughly $28,000 from Social Security. That leaves a $52,000 gap for her portfolio to cover. Multiply by 25, her target is $1.3 million. Now watch what happens when she trims just 10% off her lifestyle estimate. Instead of $80,000, she plans for $72,000. Her gap drops to $44,000. New target, $1.1 million. She just reduced her retirement target by $200,000, without earning a single extra dollar, without a promotion, without a side hustle. If you ignore everything else in this video, remember this. Your retirement number is not fixed. It's a function of choices you haven't made yet, and you have more control over it than any market return ever will give you. What to do this month? Track every dollar for 30 days. Separate must-haves from nice-to-haves. Build your ideal retirement budget from scratch, not based on what you spend now, but on what your actual retired life looks like. That one exercise will tell you more than any headline ever could. Lever 2. Time your Social Security like a chess move. This single decision can be worth $300,000 to $500,000 in Sarah's lifetime income. Here's the math. If Sarah claims Social Security at 62, she gets roughly $1,800 a month. If she waits until 70, that jumps to roughly $3,200 a month. That's 30% more. Every month, for life, automatically adjusted for inflation. This isn't an investment. This is a guaranteed, government-backed income stream that grows the longer you wait. But here's the part most gurus completely skip. This only makes sense if Sarah is in good health and has other assets to bridge the gap years. If she's in poor health, or genuinely needs the income at 62, the math changes entirely. This is a lever, not a rule. You need to know when to pull it. Action step this week, go to ssa.gov. Run your personalized benefit estimate. 10 minutes. That's it. The number you see will permanently change how you think about retirement timing. Lever 3. Healthcare, the silent portfolio killer. I'm going to make this simple, because this topic usually becomes a wall of confusing numbers that makes people tune out. Don't tune out. This one matters enormously. Imagine your retirement portfolio is a bathtub full of water. Healthcare is a drain at the bottom. Medicare doesn't fully plug that drain. There are gaps everywhere. Deductibles, copays, dental, vision, hearing. And the one nobody wants to say out loud, long-term care. The Department of Health and Human Services estimates that 70% of people turning 65 will need some form of long-term care. Average cost, over $100,000 per year for a private nursing home room. Stop. Let that land. One serious health event, and a decade of careful saving, gone. Sarah has 3 moves to protect herself. Move 1. Max out her HSA every year she's eligible. Triple tax advantage. Contributions go in tax-free. Growth is tax-free. Withdrawals for medical costs are tax-free. Think of it as a stealth retirement account with one specific job. Move 2. In her early 50s, price out long-term care insurance or a hybrid life policy with LTC benefits. Premiums at 52 are dramatically cheaper than at 62. The longer she waits, the more expensive that protection becomes. Move 3. Mentally ring-fence $200,000 to $300,000 of her savings specifically for healthcare. That money has one job. Don't touch it for vacations. Don't touch it for home renovations. Don't touch it for anything else. Think of it as a moat around the castle. Everything inside is protected. Lever 4. Invest smarter. Build flexible income. Stop depending on one number. The 4% rule is a starting point, not a guarantee. Morningstar's latest research suggests that in today's market environment, 3.9% is actually the safer withdrawal rate for steady spending. Now you might be thinking, that sounds like a tiny difference. Who cares? Here's exactly how it changes your life tomorrow. On Sarah's $1.3 million portfolio, the difference between 4% and 3.9% is about $1,300 a year less she can safely withdraw. Manageable, especially if Sarah has even one small income stream outside her portfolio that covers that gap. And this is where the real game changer lives. Sarah doesn't need to fund her entire retirement from savings. She needs to stack income streams so her portfolio doesn't have to work as hard. In her 30s and 40s, heavy allocation to low-cost index funds. Growth is the priority. Time is the asset. Don't overthink it. In her 50s, shift toward the 2-bucket system. Bucket 1 is safe. Social Security, bonds, maybe a small annuity, covering all essential expenses. Even in a market crash, this bucket doesn't move. Sarah sleeps at night. Bucket 2 stays invested in equities, covering lifestyle, travel, the things that make retirement feel like retirement. This bucket grows with the market over time. Then there's what I call the flexible income layer. Dividend stocks. A small rental property. Consulting work she genuinely enjoys 2 days a week. Even $10,000 to $20,000 a year of flexible income means Sarah's portfolio gets to rest instead of working at full capacity every single year. That's the real retirement plan. Not one number. A system that grows, protects, and generates income simultaneously. Here's something I want you to actually sit with for a moment. Hitting $1.46 million, or $1.3 million, or whatever your real number turns out to be, won't matter if you're still waking up every day with quiet financial dread. The goal was never the number. The goal is what the number buys you. Time. Choices. Mornings where you open your eyes and the first thought isn't money. The freedom to say yes to things that matter, and no to things that don't. Remember Sarah? She started this video panicking over a headline. She ends it knowing her real target. Working 4 levers. With a system, not just a savings account and a hope. In 20 years, Sarah doesn't retire because she hit some magazine cover number. She retires because she stopped chasing someone else's plan and built her own. That's what this is actually about. And if you ignore everything else, remember this. You are not powerless against the headlines. You just needed a better framework. Now you have one. Quick recap before you go. Northwestern Mutual says $1.46 million, but your number depends entirely on your lifestyle, location, and timeline. The 4% rule gives you $58,000 a year. Consider 3.9% for more safety today. Fidelity's multipliers give you a smarter, personalized checkpoint by age. And you have 4 real levers: spending, Social Security timing, healthcare protection, and smart investing plus flexible income. If this gave you genuine clarity, hit the like button right now. It takes 1 second and it genuinely helps this reach people who need it. Drop a comment, tell me your age group and your biggest retirement worry. I read every single one. The free retirement worksheet is linked in the description. 20 minutes and you'll know your actual personalized number. Go run your numbers today. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week we're covering how to dramatically boost your savings rate without feeling like you're sacrificing your entire present for your future. You have more power here than the headlines want you to believe. Take one action this week. Your future self is already thanking you. See you.